Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Jay, and welcome to Oh So Inspired Day. If you're watching this, it is the 20th, which means we're going to get together with Crafty Al and a bunch of her friends and do a fun little community hop. Um, if you saw January's video, we sort of reformulated how this works this year. So we were taking inspiration from each other, but not specifically from a piece. So we're basically looking at the crafter of the months, essentially, social media, and picking something that inspires us. And let me pop this up on screen. This month, we're inspired by Karen's Crafting Company, and info on her channel and Instagram and all that good stuff is down below. And we are going to look at a card that she made that was actually a birthday card. Karen does a lot of community challenges like Kendra's Card Challenge and other stuff, so she's always got a really interesting feed. Anyway, I was really inspired by this particular card, which has sort of a recessed panel, as you can see probably from earlier. I did a little die cutting ahead of time, but yeah, basically it's just a really kind of nice way to do sort of a spotlight, but it's also pretty easy to pull together. So let's do that now. And I will also invite you while we are making our card, well, I should say afterwards, that it would be awesome if you would hop along and see everybody else's makes, because I think this is always interesting to see who's inspired by what. So this is, if you caught me on Craft Roulette, what is last week now, I think it'll still be last week when you're seeing this. Anyway, we were using this paper pad, and this is from Not Too Shabby, and I pulled it out again because my parents travel, and I really wanted to do a video, do like a Valentine's Day card, but I knew I wasn't gonna give it to them until they get back later this week. Anyway, this is from the Cat's Love, but I just pulled this. I'm actually not doing cats, so I know, surprising. But it has some nice pink hearts in the ephemera pack, so I grabbed this pattern paper, and then I also just die cut this out with a circle to do the same effect that Karen did in her card. We're not using this piece, and we will just save that for another project. And then I thought it would be fun because my mother loves dragonflies to use this Bugs and Kisses stamp set that was a stamp set of the month through Pink and Maine, but now there's dies available. And I will just point out that cutting these daddy long legs out on a scan and cut is challenging. So I would definitely recommend the dies if you like this. It's really cute too. It comes with a bunch of sentiments, and I'm not sure that I'm going to use any. There's also sentiments in the ephemera I pulled, so we'll see. I think some of these are cute. Um, well, I think they're very. Oh, I love you would be cute. That would be cute. I think that would work. And these have a really nice sort of watercolor vibe. Anyway, the other reason I love this stamp set is that it's super easy to color. So I'm just going to grab a tri blend. This is the pink one because we have a lot of pink. And I always like to go in and give our little bug friends just a little bit of a bow. I'm trying out a new ink. I've been having difficulty with Memento smearing, so I'm trying out the Blackout from Ink on 3, which is another great hybrid ink. Anyway, so I'm really curious to see how this works out. It didn't smear at all in this initial coloring. So what I really want is kind of a light blue color. But I have this blue violet. Let me just swatch this on the scrap quick. Yeah, so let's do the wings in blue violet. I think this will actually, yeah, I think that's gonna look really fun. Um, Normally I really like the super light blues for this because, as I'm sure you know, the dragonflies have iridescent wings. So if you use the light blue and then you can come back in with a glitter pen if you so choose. And this is not moving at all, which is making me very happy. So this may be my go-to. I also got the honeybee ink to try. And there we go. And I often don't color on camera just because it can be time intensive, but I think for this particular one, these bugs are super awesome because they just come together so quickly. So now I'm just going to grab the lightest pink and go in and do the rest of our little bug with that. Looks like I have a little. I do have a little black on the tip of this, probably from my last project. But I actually don't mind that here because we are kind of doing a naturalistic bug. So let me see if I can get a little bit of that off the tip. What you can do is just like scribble until you don't have the color anymore. But I think we may need to restamp it. We're back, and I recolored that. I like it how it came out the second time a lot more. As you can see, this smeared a ton. So anyway, I probably should have let that dry or clean my marker a bit more. But it came out great the second time, so I think we are good to get our card together. I also grabbed a nice teal card base, but I kind of wanted to do a little bit of blue so that we can have a blue sky for our dragonfly. And there are a couple of different ways you could go with this. You could go with a more like a light blue sky, or you could also definitely go with something a bit more vibrant. I think I'll go with Oh Boy because it's always my sort of go-to sky color. And I don't really have a brush dedicated to it, but I probably should. And I just sort of start around the edges and just want to kind of spotlight the dragonfly. So I'll just do a little bit of light blue here, as you can see. There we go. And basically, you want to have the ink get lighter as it goes towards the center here, and that'll just sort of make your dragonfly the focal point. There we go. Okay, so I think we are good to go. As you can see, that's one of my favorite techniques because it's always quite zippy to pull together. So the tricky part here is we want to center our dragonfly, and there's a couple different ways you can do this. My favorite method is actually to get it centered, so kind of like that, and then I'll just hold it, flip it over, and just tape it down, and that'll basically create a hinge that we can use to glue or use dry adhesive or whatnot. Just kind of like that, and then we can check that we're correct, and then what we'll do is just hinge this back, and we can use a little bit of wet glue. You could also be more strategically careful than I was from a cutting this in the first place standpoint. We are going to glue we're going to like use adhesive to put this whole thing down. So really it just needs enough to sort of tack down this piece so it doesn't move around. So we will just do that. And then just, while we have a few seconds, just flip it over. Um, I will take off this tape, although really you don't have to. This is serving more like temporary tape at this point because I've used it so much. But as you can see, this is not 100% like square lined up, but it looks great on the card. So I will just flip this over and then we will stick this down and we will be good to go. And I'd just like to invite you again to check out all the other videos in the hop and just see what people picked. And cruise over to Karen's Instagram and just think for yourself. And let me know in the comments, like, which of her pieces would you have picked? And also, we always want to make sure that we're lining this up correctly. And then once that is down, our card is together. Just going to grab a little adhesive to get the sentiment on here. I think it'll be just a great. And I'm just gonna eyeball this. You can use like a T-square if you want to exactly line this up, but because there are hearts here, the hearts here will make it a lot easier to do. So we'll just do that. And I think our Oso inspired card for February is good to go. We also have a whole inside we could decorate, but this is a really quick and easy way to bring something together. And even though it doesn't look like it here, you do get a lot of visual dimension when you're basically doing the die cut. So, anyway, thanks for the inspiration, Karen, and I hope everybody has a fantastic day.